We construct a wall of lies to remove ourselves from the reality of the situation and allow ourselves to continue living suboptimal lives. We fear the potential that lurks within so much that we would rather remain blinded by this fear than illuminated by the fate of the vision of this dream that we have for our lives. So in order to fully understand this vision and act on it, we have to start deconstructing this wall of lies that we've built up. And over time, it's a difficult thing to do because it's almost as if at birth, a lead pipe was put through your shoulder. And so you grew your whole life with this lead pipe and it's part of you now. But you have to rip it out. And you know this because lead will kill you. And so when you have the knowledge of this, immediately you want to take this thing out. You want to get rid of it. And so in the same way, you have to deconstruct this wall of lies because if you don't, then you will continue living out in a suboptimal way. And you won't be able to act on this vision for your life. And you'll be mad at it because you'll think that you have what it takes because you do. But you won't be able to act on it because you haven't put in the necessary work to be able to act on this dream. So in order for me to not get mad at myself for continuing to fall prey to my bad habits and subpar beliefs, let's say, I have to confront them and change these beliefs. I'll stop allowing myself to continue living in a suboptimal way. And so what are these beliefs? This is a thread that I had to pull. It's a little bit difficult, right? It's like that lead pipe in the shoulder, but you have to start with something and keep pulling and keep getting deeper in order to truly understand the lies that you built up. And slowly, as you start peeling back, you will unlock, you'll be able to see over the wall, over this wall of lies. You'll be able to unlock that potential that exists within because you can finally start to see it. And then eventually that wall disappears entirely for you to be able to access this potential that lurks within. But this is something that no one does. And so if you do this, you will be miles ahead. And so what are some of the things that I've done? I had to write them down because there were so many. So for one, I used to call myself the idea guy. And this would allow me to not take action on my ideas. I'm like, I'm the most creative guy you've ever met. I could film videos all day, come up with ideas, I could write them down. I've got the best Google Docs, notes full of just incredible ideas. But what I've come to realize is that ideas are cheap. Action is valuable. You have to actually execute on ideas in order for it to be worth anything. And so then I have to change this vision in my head or the words that I tell myself. I'm not just the idea guy. I'm the dreamer and the doer. I'm both sides of the coin. And if you're both sides of the coin, heads or tails, you win. Next up, let's see here. I used to eat a ton of food all at once. And so then what this would allow me to do, eating one meal a day, would allow me to take a nap after I would eat or just to scroll on TikTok for 45 minutes while my food digested. And it's a suboptimal way of living because then every single day, even though it's more efficient to eat one meal a day, I'm allowing myself an hour after that to do things that I know I shouldn't be doing. Sleeping during the day or scrolling on TikTok and wasting time, right? So that's a lie that I've told myself that eating once a day is, I like eating once a day. I like eating a ton of food all at once. Yes, that's true, but if I continue telling myself that, then maybe the lie that I've told myself is that I like eating this food to cover up subconsciously the fact that I just want to sleep for an hour every day or an excuse to watch TikTok. This is why you have to peel back those things because you never know what the incentive is subconsciously that's causing you to believe this thing, right? Okay, so what else? Saying I don't have to run or to read today because I went for a run. Well, I'm doing a mile every single day. So if I tell myself that I don't have to read because I went for a run, it's the same thing as saying that I don't have to eat because I'm breathing, right? You need to eat. You need to breathe. And so then it's the same way you have to challenge your mind and your body physically, mentally. You cannot allow yourself to not do one good because you did the other. Both are essential. Don't tell yourself this lie that gives you a scapegoat to not live up to the responsibility that is cast over your life. Okay, what else? It's a hard week, so I'll watch a movie to take some time myself to relax, to enjoy some time, right? And so this is a big one that I've faced, that I've changed in the past. This is one of the ones that I recognized last year. 2021, I watched 100 movies in the month of January. The video is up on the channel if you want to try to look through the different YouTube accounts that I have and figure out that time lapse, or someone can link it in the comments, but it's pretty cool. Anyways, from that point on, I was hooked, and I watched 189 movies or something like that in 2021. No, that was 2022, sorry. Then 2023 rolls around, last year. And because I was in this habit of watching movies all the time, well, it's a hard week, I'm gonna go watch a movie. Or like, I've had a long day, I've worked a ton, I'm gonna go watch a movie, right? And so I watched 89 to 95 movies last year, maybe even up to 100, right? And that's a lot. That's every third day. I'm spending 2.5 hours, 3 hours watching a movie. That's time that's gone to waste that should be used towards this vision that I have for my life. You need a vision so big that it requires only the best of you from now until every second until your death, right? So do you have a dream that big that, you'll realize that you never wanted to watch the movies in the first place? You just told yourself that as a lie to fill the void of time and to remove the responsibility of taking the time to figure out what that vision actually looks like for your life. Let me say all that one more time. Once you stop doing the thing that you know you shouldn't be doing, watching movies, right? The realization will come to light that you only watch the movies in the first place to blind yourself to the time that you knew you should be spending developing a vision for your life and acting on that vision. And so then when you stop watching that and you start spending that time to actually develop that vision, that's the point where you realize that you never wanted to watch the movies in the first place. You never wanted to scroll on TikTok for hours in the first place. You never wanted to do any of these things. You just did it to fill the void of time, right? We would rather be bored, or we would rather do anything than be bored. And so if that comes at the cost of our future selves, of our untapped potential, so be it. Because in the moment, I'm going to feed the self-gratification demon that is in my mind, right? You have to tear this belief down that this self-gratification demon has any power over your life, because he will steal all of the life from you in the current moment. And this is the only moment that exists. And so if you allow that to take hold today, it will take hold of the rest of your life, and it will be pulled out from underneath you. Before you know it, you will be at the end of your life without a compelling story. And that would not be a good thing, because you have so much potential within you. What are the other lies that I've told myself? Here's a big one. I told myself that growing up that I liked my chest hair, right? This is a good look for me, right? And this allowed me to have something covering up the fact that I never spent any time building up my upper body. I used to be a rower in high school, and my legs are built, right? Because rowing is like 70% legs. And so then I'm on the rowing machine all the time, lifting like squats, deadlift, all these different things. But I'm not taking the time to build up my upper body. And so then over time, there's this divide. Probably 90% of my body weight is in, maybe not that, but a lot of my muscle, at least, is in my lower body because I've spent all the time there. But I haven't taken the time to build up my chest muscles. And so then maybe I've told myself this lie that I like my chest hair, or that it's a good look for me, or whatever it is, to cover up the fact that I haven't spent any time working out my arms or my biceps, whatever. Wait, pecs. There we go. Oh my gosh. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We have these little lies that we tell ourselves to avoid the responsibility that's cast over our lives. And so you have to tear down those lies so that you can act on that potential. Okay, so what else? Oh, goodness. Oh, I used to quote, maybe in the past I've quoted out tables at a lower price so that I don't have to give the best experience to the customer, right? Well, if they're getting a lower price table, they're getting a deal. So if I deliver a little bit late, that's okay, right? I've told myself this lie. On this most recent contract that, if you've watched the video, I made my $5,000 mistake on. And so maybe breaking down that lie will revolutionize my business, because now instead of giving someone a discounted price for a suboptimal product, I can charge a lot more for a product that over delivers, right? And so then now my value is more than the actual value of the table because the experience is so much better. So tear down those lies, because you never know what potential is lurking behind the lies that you've constructed. What else? I've told myself in the past that I'm super efficient. That way I can wait till the last minute. And this is a mask or a wall of lies that I've told myself to cover up the fact that I'm just procrastinating, right? So if there's this thing, I'm like, oh, I know I got to get this done, but I'm that guy. Like, I can get it done in time. And then the time comes where it needs to be done. It's not done yet. This happened on that table contract, right? I'm pulling down these beliefs, these false beliefs that I've constructed, that in the past, they've allowed me to live this suboptimal life because they've allowed me to not take responsibility. I'm pulling these down, ripping them out. That way I can actually move towards this vision that I have for my life. In order to move towards that, you have to lower the wall of lies so you can see over into the meadows of potential, let's say. And eventually you can tear down the wall entirely and run out with open arms. But until you take the time to deconstruct these lies that you've built up in your mind, there's no chance that you'll act on that vision. So take the time, right? It's difficult, but it's been great so far. So what else? Goodness. Oh man, this one's a good one. In the past, I've allowed myself to remain confused. So it seems like I care without having to take action. So in effect, not taking the time to process the wall of lies that you've constructed within yourself closes you off from the potential that exists within you, which limits the scope of the vision that you could cast over your life. So in effect, not deconstructing this wall of lies is allowing yourself to remain confused so that you don't have to take action. It's like, oh, I know I have to be doing that. Like, for me, what does this look like? Everyone's telling me, like, you got to make videos. And I'm like, yeah, no SHIT, Sherlock. I know I got to make videos, but because that's my role as a content creator. But how am I going to do it? And like, I'm in this constant cycle of like, I know I got to create videos, but blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm just allowing myself to remain confused so that I don't have a list of steps. When you make the steps manifest, then when you're not living up to the dream that you've forecast for yourself, right? When you remain in the fog, you don't see the steps that you're taking. And so then when you're off course, it's an excuse to not have to reorient yourself. Man, I'm a wordsmith, guys. Come on, this is good. What else? This is a big one. So, this is a fundamental truth, and maybe this is a whole different conversation to have. But I've told myself that I don't have any memories from before I was 15 because a lot of bad things have happened. Two major bad things happened at the start of my life. And then one around like 12 years old that maybe I've told myself that I don't have these memories. That way I don't have to go back and grieve these years of my life that I've lost to the terrible things that have happened, And so that one's even scarier than any of these other ones, right? Because that's not even my unfulfilled potential. That's my lived experience. And so that's a large portion of the time I've spent on this earth is not available to me through my memories because of the negative experiences that I've had. So in a way, I've blocked off, this trauma that exists out there. And then as well, now I don't understand myself fully because I don't understand the situations that have made me who I am today. If it has taken my entire life to make me who I am today, then I have to understand my entire life to understand who I am today. All the experiences that I've been through in the past, all the mistakes and lessons learned, all of the bad situations that I've had to persevere through, and all of the good situations that I've won, and all the victories, strengths and weaknesses. You have to understand all of it to understand who you are. And so then That's one that I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time crying to try to fully figure out. What else? Yeah. Oh, back to the hard week thing. The movies. When I told myself that if this is a hard week, then the dream is impossible because the dream will require more of me than I'm currently doing, or else I would already be living out the dream. And so then if I tell myself this lie that it's been a difficult week, so I should watch a movie, right? Or it's been a difficult day, so I should watch a movie. Then twofold, not only am I causing myself to perpetuate this bad habit, but as well, I'm, let's see here. Oh, goodness. I'm blinding myself to the fact that I will have to put more effort in the future. So then not only am I not living up to the dream by perpetuating this bad habit, but I'm blinding myself to the potential that I'll have to take on in the future. You see what I mean? This is really difficult to articulate, really difficult to speak into words, because in a way, this is like the dark side of my life. These are the walls of lies that I've constructed so that I don't have to look into my soul and see what I'm truly capable of. And so then, what lies are you telling yourself? Figure it out. This is probably the most difficult question that you could wrestle with over the course of your life, because you start tearing down those walls and switching it, right? So then I've realized that the movies that I used to want to watch, maybe I already said this, I can't remember or not, but the movies that I used to want to watch were just there to cover up the time that I knew I should be spending developing a vision, but I just didn't want the responsibility that came along with developing a vision in the first place. And so I never wanted to watch the movies at all. I just did that to fill the void of time. And so then the realization that I've come to is that I never wanted to watch the movies in the first place. I wanted the vision. I just didn't want the responsibility that was attached to it. And so taking on that responsibility and then developing that vision has allowed me to no longer feel like I need to watch a movie. The reward is the progress towards this goal. And so then my reward for a long day's work is the work itself. Good on me for taking on a great workload today and actually doing something with my life. That's the reward. And so then tomorrow I can wake up, and before I go to bed tonight, I'll come up with a list of good things that I could do tomorrow. That way, when I put in a good day's work tomorrow, that is the reward. The reward is that tomorrow there is work that I can continue doing that is actually meaningful and moving towards my own vision. Come on, guys. That realization is massive, because then what I'm understanding is the reward is that there's a system that I'm building for myself. I have a list of things that are actually going to move me forward. That is the reward, that I've taken the time to figure that out. That's the reward, that I get to act on my own vision for my own life. That is the reward. The hard work is no longer difficult because there's meaning, there's purpose, and it's just a series of flow. Set up your life as a series of stacked actions. In order to do that, you have to understand what the final stack is going to look like. And then you got to walk backwards like a series of dominoes and understand how these will all fall into place to make this final vision a reality. Then you could pick out all the little things along the way that will get you to that spot. And then you can start checking off those boxes one at a time. And then you achieve a series of flow. If you take the time to really deconstruct the wall of lies, build up this vision for your life, and then break it into smaller pieces so that you understand how to get to this massive vision. You can press one domino, and if you've taken the time and really developed this vision, everything will fall into place. Your life will be a series of flowing actions. People will question how you are so successful because of the time that you spent to develop your life. I say this all the time, but most people stumble into success. If you really want to achieve success in this life, It's not that difficult. You just have to sit down and figure out what that looks like for yourself. Define success and move towards it. And you will probably achieve it, because a lot of people will achieve success stumbling without a plan. So yeah, I think that's everything on this list. I'll read through it one more time just to make sure. But yeah, it's a difficult thing to deconstruct that wall of lies. Maybe one of the most difficult things that you will ever do. But the most difficult thing that you ever do has the greatest reward. If you want to actually achieve this vision for your life, begin to understand yourself at that deep of a level. I know the lies that my mind has built up subconsciously, and I'm going to take them down one at a time, because I know that that is my path to achieving greatness in this life, is by breaking down the barrier, moving out into the meadow, and achieving this vision that I've cast for myself. Yeah, it's a great life. And that level of self-reflection, it's intense, it's deep, it's difficult. It's like pulling that iron bar out of your shoulder that you've lived your whole life with. But it's the thing that is necessary, that you need to do. And it'll feel so good when you finally deconstruct all of that and are living a fluid life. People will be so jealous. How are you so authentic? How are you so genuine? It's because I know myself. I know Wyatt Moss down to the core. I know the false beliefs that I've constructed. So not only do I know everything that I've been through and what it's taught me and how that has played a role in developing who I am today, not only do I understand my current circumstances and the experiences that I go through on a continual basis, not only am I evaluating them with a record, that way I can watch them back and truly learn and understand myself to a level that no one has ever really done before. But on top of all that, I'm confident that I know myself. This is where I have this source of genuine authenticity, because I'm able to look deep within and truly break down those false beliefs, those lies, truly understand who I am at the core. It's like the never-ending onion. You peel back a layer and you start to cry. With every layer that you peel back, it gets more and more beautiful until it's a never-ending cycle until you get closer and closer, but there is no until. There's no end. It's the never-ending onion. It just gets more and more beautiful. If you want to live a beautiful life, be like the never-ending onion. Peel back the layers that you've built up and start to understand yourself to the core. It's the most beautiful thing that you will ever come to know, because it is your life. More or less.